The terrible mass shooting we saw on Sunday night has ignited a call to ensure the safety and security of New Orleanians and guests all around this town. A measure in the state legislature this morning will address some of those concerns. Joining us now to talk more about that is New Orleans Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick. Now, we had been reporting that you were going up there. You're actually not going up there. You're sending a deputy chief. I'm
sending a deputy chief up to speak on our behalf. I personally could not break away from my calendar today.
And now the legislation does call for some gun-free zones. You'd like to see it encompass the entire city.
I would. New Orleans is unique, and this is not a one-size-fits-all bill. And so what would apply and maybe be perfectly acceptable in a different part of the state of Louisiana is not going to be effective for the entire city of New Orleans. Too much gun violence as it is in this city. We've made great strides. This will reverse the strides.
And I mean, to be honest, a citywide moratorium, or whatever you want to call it, probably has a snowball's chance in hell in Baton Rouge, but you're looking at maybe entertainment zones.
Right, and so there is a door open among the legislators to, I think they realize that maybe it isn't a good bill for all parts of New Orleans. So there is a door open to carve out certain sections of New Orleans, such as the French Quarter. But I think that to be as effective as possible, if the carve-out, if we're going to do a carve-out, would be what I would call the hospitality parts of New Orleans.
And how big of an area is that, in your opinion?
Yes, that is not just my opinion. We've looked at it internally. It would be Calliope over to the Marigny, and then Rampart down to the river, because it would encompass the main thoroughfares that our tourists would be going
down. The Superdome, like
down to the warehouse, entertainment area, the convention center. So it would be broader than just the French Quarter.
And you know, you're not the only police chief who is concerned about permitless concealed carry laws. It's in about half the states in this country. Police chiefs are usually almost unanimous in their concern or dislike of permitless concealed carry.
It is true, and it's because it really is not a law enforcement friendly or it's not a conservative bill.
And you are a conservative.
I am a political independent. I have a deep appreciation for conservative ideology, as well as I'm progressive in some areas. But most law enforcement are going to be more on the conservative side when it comes to safety. And this is not a bill that advances the safety of officers or even our community.
And one of the things you worried, and especially it was so prevalent after this mass shooting on Sunday, is that, you know, when people get in an argument, all of a sudden the guns are drawn, and it's not just the two people arguing, or however many it was. Right. There's just so many ancillary woundings like we saw on Sunday.
Sure, absolutely. And so let me take you even to Mardi Gras. We made 111 gun arrests during Mardi Gras. With this bill—
for people carrying a gun.
For carrying a gun. With this bill, we wouldn't even have been able to make the contact to begin with. And that's why this is not thought through. This is not a pro-law enforcement bill. It is not a pro-public safety bill, because it removes the officer's ability to even inquire, because it's now would be legal for you to carry a permitless gun.
And I'm assuming that you all have talked to some lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to get a feel for where this might go. We had a conservative senator on the program when this was being considered in the state legislature, and I asked him point blank, would you be comfortable in the French Quarter on a crowded night with everybody carrying a concealed weapon? And he goes, well, there might have to be some areas where you have to change laws.
Yes, and that's what we're asking for. So again, it's not a one-size-fits-all bill. What would work in another part of the state is not going to work in New Orleans. It is not a law and order bill. And I understand that's kind of the framing a conservative would have, is law and order bills. That's what we're seeing. And pro-law enforcement. Neither one of those end missions through this bill is law and order, nor is it pro-law enforcement.
And one of the things that you're concerned about, and most police chiefs are in states where they have the permitless concealed carry, is you come up on a scene where a couple of people are fighting, or a good guy with a gun is holding a perpetrator of some crime. A cop pulls up on that. They don't know. All they see is a gun.
That's the point, Eric. And I think one of the mindsets, and I understand some of the mindset was, wait a second, our good law-abiding citizens would be able to be a plus factor to help the law enforcement. They would pull their gun out.
In theory, that sounds good.
But when a police officer rolls out,
who is trained,
I don't know that you're wearing the white hat and this person's wearing the black hat. All I know is I see guns. And that is why it's a danger. It increases the risk of harm to the law-abiding citizen because the police officer is going to draw down on you. They don't know who's the good guy. And it's not thought through. And so the risks of people being hurt actually have increased with this bill.
And again, how carefully worded would you like to see this measure to where, at least you get some passage on it or support on both sides of the aisle?
Of course, I think that to carve out the entire city is so much easier, but the best that I could ask for is the hospitality area of the city, which is more than just the French Quarter. So again, from Calliope over to Marigny, from Rampart down to the river would encompass the hospitality area.
Because the shooting we saw, the mass shooting we saw on Sunday was outside of the French Quarter.
Would have been outside.
It was in the warehouse district.
And in that situation, if you're carrying a gun, because the bill says firearm, that includes AK-47s, and that's what was used in the shooting the other night.
We do know it was an AK-47?
We know it's a high-power
an assault-style weapon?
We know it's a high-power rifle.
So it was not a pistol. We do know that. I had not heard that.
Yeah, and the bill doesn't say pistol. The bill says firearm. And so that's why the bill is not thought through in terms of really, because we must be bound to the words of the law. And that's why this is not actually pro-law and order.
And you've talked to enough legislators. I think this will actually pass.
I hope it to be passing.
All right. Thank you for coming, and we appreciate that. And please come back again, and we'll be right back after the break.